few fairly different changes. One of the changes that we're trying is in the main deck, we have cut the Torrential Gearhulk. There is so many Scarab Gods in the format at the moment, and I really hate Torrential Gearhulk versus any Scarab deck. Even though it's not that brutal game one, because they don't really have anything to buy back that's relevant, you know, like, they don't have negates and stuff, a couple of them have Supreme Wills, etc., etc. I just felt the cast out overall would be a better hedge, because it's good versus Scarab, while also being good versus, like, Mardu vehicles, and even versus the bad decks that it's bad versus, like, getting one early and cycling it, you know, like versus red deck wins, and then like drawing one later and like nailing a Chandra or a Hazard, it's not terrible. The other big main deck change that we're trying is we're trying Field of Ruin in the main deck, a second one. We've always had the one. I'm a little hesitant about adding the second. I'm really worried the mana's not going to work out, but we've shaved one Plains for one Field of Runes, and we're going to hope that this works well. In the sideboard, similarly, I don't feel that we can bring in Gearhulks in a lot of our matches anymore. The only matches that I really want Gearhulks versus are the Blue-White Drake decks and the Blue-White Approach decks. So we've shaved the Gearhulk out of the side and added in a second Primal Tide. And that's really the only card that we've tried in the sideboard so far. If the format continues to be more aggressive and Mardu gets picked up more, we're going to add a third Meltdown to the main deck and probably either a fourth Cat or a fourth of 40 to the side. But yesterday we got paired versus just a lot of Drowned Catacomb decks. So I think this is the setup we want if we think Drowned Catacomb decks is going to be the majority of our field. Hey JJ and hey Brian, what's up, man? I can approach your moon anytime. Well, thank you. I'm far from handsome, but I still appreciate it. What's this little dude? Well, let me hover it. I don't know how you make that little dude. That little dude's sweet. Hope both of you guys are having a good day. But anyway, we'd gone several days in a row without playing Blue-White Approach, so here we are. Hopefully it works out well. We are into competitive leagues again today, because when I play decks that I think are good, I play the competitive leagues. I think this hand's fine. It's a little bit slow, but the format itself in general is fairly slow, so sure, we could get paired versus the red deck wins deck and just get absolutely rolled here, but the meta doesn't really seem like there's a lot of those in it, so I think this hand's definitely worth the risk, because a hand like this is very good versus Grixis midrange, very good versus blue-black control, very good versus like blue-black chart, etc., etc. And we get a Rivulet right off the bat into an Inquiries, so it's probably GPG. We have a fairly good game 1 versus GPG, I find, but we're going to have to hit some lands, and if they're playing the black builds with a bunch of Cat Self Rebooters, it actually can be difficult. Another little thing. How come I don't have access to those? He led with a Rivulet turn 1, so the odds of him having a second come into play tapped land are pretty low, and sorry, come into play untapped land are pretty low. So he does have a farmlands. Could have had like a plains, but like he probably doesn't have an island, basically. Alright, well, we really want our land here. Alright, sweet. So we hit a land, and we can go ahead and slam the search. Don't really care if he plays Champion of Wits this turn. Probably we'll cycle the Censor, because we really want to hit a land. Alright, so he's playing very likely the white-blue build. So he milled once and then attacked for one. I just find that peculiar. Not sure why you wouldn't mill a second time there. I think I would rather mill than put an extra card in my hand, but I don't play blue-white well, so, or I don't play the GPG decks in general well, so I could just be totally off base with that assessment. Island in our graveyard? No. Definitely want lands. It lets us hold up cast out in case he has like, you know, miracle mill into refurbish. It lets us hold up glimmer as well. So game 1s versus these GPG decks are typically a lot easier to game 2 and 3. Though I feel like a pretty large favorite game 1. I feel like a slight favorite game 2 and 3. I recognize this player's name too. He definitely cashes quite a few events. So probably putting most things on the bottom that are not exactly land and exactly approaches. I'm actually going to keep this. I'm going to have to get the land sooner or later, and I'm not super worried about flipping to Search for Azcanta at the moment. To see what he mills here before we decide whether we're going to cast out the search or not. And since he milled a GFG, we're 100% not able to cast out the search, which is kind of unfortunate. But it's just it's too bad for us if we like cast out and he untaps and plays refurbish. So we just have to let him get his search and take some solace in knowing the fact that they don't run a whole lot of counter spells in their main deck. So really like Guru lands. They're quite attractive. My nose seems to be running today. And I'm too fat to go catch it. Can easily have that. I'm not worried about that. Hey Dumbo, what's up man? I saw you golfing earlier. You still enjoying your golfing game a lot? I believe we'll keep the approach and we'll get rid of the cast out. Probably don't need the third cast out. Certainly are not getting rid of that approach because that approach lets us do the neat things. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we'll probably just go for the back-to-back approach now. There's a good chance that we're just going to cycle both cast outs, unless we see like a random crazy counterspell out of his hand or something, you know, from the Search for Azcanta. Yeah, we're probably going to cycle both cast outs and then just untap, flip Azcanta, play approach, and then attempt to play approach the next turn, not worry about playing around any counterspells or anything. It's just, they're so unlikely to have the main deck that I'm not super worried about that. It's kind of risky considering we're in the driver's seat, but we do have to tap out for 7 mana at some point anyway. Well, he can have that. That doesn't really change any of our plans. It's like 13 damage we get hit by if he gets an angel in his graveyard, but it's like cool. That's 1. Hey, Trickery, what's up, man? That's 2. So 2, 4, 6, we good. I guess we'll keep the Fumigate just in case. Oh wow, I'm an idiot. No, I'm not an idiot. I went ahead and kept the Fumigate. We didn't need to flip the land because we drew the land. We'll start with this. I think Grixis midrange is a pretty strong deck, but I've not really looked into it any. I don't own Scarab Gods in paper, so I've kind of tried to avoid most Scarab God lists. Strange, I did not like that deck very much at all. We ended up going 5-5, And it just felt like every time that we were relying on the ramp that we were playing a game that I didn't want to play. The JJ, is that the Saffron Olive Torment of Hellfire deck? I could get behind playing that deck sometime. We got paired versus it yesterday, which is pretty neat. Our opponent got DC'd and it kind of ruined the match though, but we did get paired versus it. I would definitely test a deck like that. I think Gateway is a very cool card. I considered and put a lot of thought into playing the Gateway, like the first Gateway over the fourth search out of our side. I didn't go with that, but like I put a lot of thought into that. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He actually has no other creature current. Well, 8, so 12. So technically we're not dead on board yet, and he's tapping out now anyway, so it doesn't matter. We don't even have to make a decision. I'm just going to keep whatever's on top to save time, because we already have the other approach in hand. Now game 2 and 3 we have to be a lot more cautious because they have counter spells. I could definitely get behind playing that deck. I've not actually looked at the 75, but I'm a big fan of Treasure Map, and I'm a big fan of Gateway both. So I can only imagine playing a deck with both of those cards will make me smile beyond belief. So anyway, as I was saying in the pre-game, before we started getting the down, I mentioned Drakehaven and Approach, but in general, that applies to all of the Glacial Fortress decks. So this is like one of the matches that we're going to kind of miss our Torrential Gearhulks in. Alright, so we definitely want our Ixalan's Bindings here. We definitely want our Naguts here, and probably not our Essence Scatter. We want to search, the match goes long enough. I don't think we want Nazal here. It's a whole lot of mana, and he's got a whole lot of chump blockers. So these are the cards in general that I like in this match. Cards that I typically don't like in this match. I typically sideboard out a couple of Effort Meltdowns. I always bring in a couple of 40s, but I don't bring them all in because you don't have to have them early. Typically, you don't need them till like turn 7, 8, or 9, and you only really need one. But the reason you bring the 40s in is just to protect from big hits of damage when like you're like tapping out and having to play Fumigates and stuff that like might get counterspelled or whatever. But anyway, so I generally start by taking out the 2 Meltdowns. And then I generally cut some number of sensors and ops. I generally like to keep all of our Wrath effects in this match. I bring some of the sensors back in on the play, but I generally take a bunch of them out on the draw. Because there's nothing really early that you're wanting to censor, and they can always play around it late. But on the play, it's okay because, like, it gets... you can leverage it to, like, win counterspell wars occasionally. Disallow's not great in this match either, but, like, it can stop a GPG trigger, and you sometimes need it to try to win, like, a counterspell battle or whatever. But, you know, this match is pretty difficult post-board. I don't bring the cats in because you typically feel like you can just never beat them with cats. It's just like really relying on our enchantment hate here. We kind of like try to out control each other in this match. Think I'll keep it, but it's pretty loose. I probably wouldn't have kept it if he hadn't already mulliganed. The fact that he already mulliganed gives us a lot higher percentage chance to play the search on 2, but without it like getting messed with or whatever. I probably would not have kept this hand versus a 7. Alright. So that's good. Our search is going to resolve. They could have several ways to like kill it being in the white color, but it resolving is pretty nice for us in general. Stating the obvious is my favorite thing to do. And then we're just going to use it to basically try to draw lands and negates. I meant to buy a foil cast out for the deck and I forgot. A little sad that I didn't. We'll keep all of the lands that we draw. We have 2 hard counterspells for his first 2 competitive threats. She didn't play, any of his creatures up until this point, so his hand's very likely just all lands and counterspells. Maybe some cast outs or something. Ixalan's Binding. I think I'm actually going to disallow this one. I should have did that. I really should have did that. As much as I like Approach, I should have definitely got all of the Drake cards and all of the Approach cards and just foiled the crap out of him. We're actually going to keep another hard counterspell here. He'll never expect the third one. I went ahead and counterspelled that one because I wanted to cast out to be able to use on something that resolves. Like, say he wins a counterspell war or something, I wanted to cast out his backup. And he's got a GPG in his graveyard, but he doesn't have a creature yet. Guess he can have this as well. I picked up a sweet foil search. I got me one of them promos. I was pretty excited. Forward in my graveyard. Yes, definitely just need to find lands at this point. Could have been worse. Definitely could have been worse. Yeah, I picked up one of those. My local store had one that I could pick up for $25 store credit. I danced a jig. Sorry about that. Somebody come to my door. Yeah, they're pretty expensive. I was pretty excited that my store had them that cheap. I went ahead and counterspelled a Champion of Wits because I just think it's too much value for him and we can disallow it coming back. Don't really want to put that Approach in our graveyard, but we don't have the lands as it is and we need to get to the flip. I think I'm going to counterspell this. Not really because I want to counterspell an Angel so badly, but more so because there's a good chance we're going to tap out on the following turn. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to go ahead and use this as well. We'll kill this one. If he has Spell Pierce, he has Spell Pierce. I know it gives him a mana in the end, but it also guarantees we flip our Search for Azcanta for our 7th land. Or guarantees we have the opportunity to flip it, rather. And we're going to, again, still hold the cast out here for emergencies. We'll go ahead and put that in the graveyard. And flip it. So that's 7 mana. So if he's got a refurbish and a negate, we're in trouble. If he doesn't have a refurbish and a negate, we're not that bad off. he gets the Angel back, that means we're definitely going to use Cast Out and Search on our next turn, opposed to trying to approach. If he gets the Champion of Wits back, I'm probably just slamming the approach and making him show me. But I may not. I may just go for the GPG as well. I think I probably will go for the GPG. Feel like he needs to counterspell it. Foil and stable lands, expensive. So he's like specifically keeping 2 lands up. He put another GPG in his graveyard. Not happy about that. So we'll go to probably his draw step to try to kill that GPG. We don't want him to get a trigger, so we kind of like want to force him to counterspell. And then we'll search for Ascanto looking for a negate to try to protect our approach. Kind of put him in a spot where he needs 2 different negates to beat us, hopefully. He had a pretty medium draw, but like our deck's kind of playing out fairly good. We did have to get rid of this earlier, which sucked, but... So there's no way he counterspells this unless there's multiple counterspells in his hand. Or just no way he counterspells that without multiple counterspells. Could have a cast out though to get it back. Oh, second refurbish, that's fine. Doesn't really change anything though. He again doesn't do that without multiple counterspells. Or he wouldn't have stopped this without multiple counterspells rather. Now we only have to beat 1 counterspell, so if we draw a negate in our top 5 cards, we know we win. Maybe our top 6 cards if we get a redraw. Alright, well. So 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 damage. Alright, well we have 5 cards to find a negate. Guess what these cards are not? So 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. These cards are not a negate. I guess I'll take this one then. They're also not a redraw in that spot. He chose to mill me. Alright, well I guess we'll just go ahead and do this then. It best plays around things. He's got multiple counter spells, it's going to be hard for us to win. I mean, if he's got multiple counter spells, we can't win. But if he doesn't have multiple counter spells, we have a chance still. It's always hard to beat them when they have multiple counter spells and a good draw. Which, I mean, clearly he had a good draw. He had double refurbish. And if he doesn't attack for lethal, we don't even have to play to settle. We can just look for a negate. If he does have the counter spell, he's just running up the numbers at this point. And if he attacks a file, he definitely has the counter spell. Wah, 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 wah. Alright, well, we have to get a little better draw this next game, I guess. Yep. So, opponent drew 2 of his, probably 3 negates, or 4 negates. We drew 0 of ours. Even though we went through a similar number of cards. In fact, We basically went through the exact same number of cards. Yeah, sometimes it happens. He had to have 2 to win, though. Like, he couldn't win with just 1. And he couldn't win if we got 1. Oh, we'll keep this hand. It's definitely kind of weak. But it's good enough. The hand itself is powerful. The hand just doesn't match up well with what their game plan typically is. They put on top or bottom there? They put on bottom. I guess I'm going to hit mute for a couple seconds because somebody's running a vacuum near me. So I would have actually disallowed a chart de course there if they had it. And again, I would do the same thing because I have plans for our mana for the next several turns. I would disallow... Well, I won't disallow that, but I'll disallow any relevant spell they play. Basically, anything higher than a 1-drop. Like, I wouldn't disallow Sacred Cat, I wouldn't disallow that. But I disallow most anything else. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm actually just going to keep both of these. I want to guarantee that we hit our 7th land. And we can definitely cycle one of them, probably, if we draw another land at some point. That card's beautiful, but we still need to hit negate. Opponent definitely is having a bad draw this game. I use the older unlands as well, but I do not have foils. These are the lands I typically use in paper. I'm trying to like upgrade to some betas, but man, betas are expensive. Let's keep bashing. See if we care. Spoiler. We don't really. Alright, so he hit his 3rd land. That's gonna go ahead and counterspell this. I don't want him loot or like trying to hit more lands and stuff here. Like how I stuttered when I was trying to say I don't want him looting. I don't want him putting like a GPG in his graveyard. As I said, we kind of have plans for our mana almost every turn right now. Alright, well, we'll just go ahead and cycle one of these in. Picked up a Disallow. And then an Essence Scatter. He could counterspell this. Not a big concern if he does. Alright, he didn't, so we know our thing is 6 cards down after our draw step, so we'll just go ahead and ride it. And unless he gets incredibly lucky, we don't have to worry about a GPG this particular turn. But we do now kind of want to try to save this disallow. Like, saving this disallow is pretty important at this point. There's a good chance that we cast out the Search for Azcanta. I think I would rather use a binding. Yeah, I think I would rather use a binding. And whatever it is, I'm going to use the cast out because I can use it during his turn. So we'll do him to use as much mana as possible at the moment. The fact that he didn't get a GPG in his graveyard made that a lot easier play. No, well, never mind. It was sitting on top of his library. That's how that rose. We still have a disallow though, so he would have to have like a land, a refurbish, and a spell pierce to get that in play at this point. And that's a lot of hoops to jump through. Even if he had all that, we could go for the lucky win too. We could just let it resolve, play Glimmer, put 2 cards at random at the bottom of the library, and if any of the 3 cards we draw cycles, we would win. Alright, looks like he's not going for that. So we'll just take our 1. I guess it's chart. No negate. Making sure we sideboarded in our negate since, you know, we've not saw one now. If he counterspells this, we don't really care. Bottom, bottom. It's fine, we don't care if he mills us. I really just want to find another negate somewhere. Or one of our 4 searches. All cards that we would love to find at this point in the game. If he's just going to attack us for 2, we'll use the cast out. Or cycle to cast out, rather. I'm assuming he's got multiple negates in his hand again. Like, he's playing this game like he has multiple negates in his hand. I think he can have that. Actually, just cycle this thing. Think we're going to keep that one? I don't think I should have cycled that other thing now. Hey, Boot, what's up, man? I don't sleep ever right now. It's, quite frankly, killing me. Too many family responsibilities, though. Don't have any choice in the matter. So that could have been a real bad turn for us. I probably shouldn't have cycled my cast out. the more I think about it. Like, cycling that cast out just seems like it's very, very, very wrong. If he counterspells this, he's opening himself up to lose. Alright, opening himself up to lose, doesn't care. Man, I wish I slept. That's kind of disappointing. I don't like it when we can't punish things like that, but we have 2 draw steps with the search, so maybe we can find it. Let's say we're not going to have a fun time with this game, though. I kind of want that card, but I don't think I can afford to keep it. Hey, was that a good draw? If so, why? That's what he gets for being aggressive and using his second negate in that spot. He didn't have to use a negate there. Alright. Well, he had a pretty bad draw that game, but we didn't draw a negate in both of our sideboard games. We didn't draw a single negate in either of our sideboarded games. And he drew multiple both games, even though we were drawing a similar number of cards. It really does come down to if they have multiple negates, it's hard to win. They typically need 2 negates, and then they need an extra negate for every negate you draw. So, like, if you draw 1 negate, they typically need 3 negates. If you draw 2 negates, they typically need all 4 negates. If you draw 0 negates, they typically need 2 negates. That's really how that match comes down to it. So, like, the people that, like, don't run the full 4 negates in these decks absolutely blow my mind or have very different results than I do. I'm not sure which. But that's how it's been for me, and you know we've put the hours in with this deck. Alright, we'll play first. Hand is pretty good. Actually playing versus another 1-0. Matchmaking. Perfect matchmaking. Magic Online knows what it's doing. There could never be any bugs with this program in a million years. Red-green, you say? Alright. Well, we have a sensor. We have several ops. Now, I find this match to be... Well, I don't technically know what they're playing, but when I see Sheltered Thicket, the first thing that comes to my mind is they're playing Jund monsters. Or like red-green monsters. And if that's true, or like dinos, but all of those things are still like very, very favorable for us. Come on, blue mana. That's not a blue mana. That's actually a hard decision is what that is. That's what that is right there. You can just go ahead and play the planes, hold up the sensors. I mean, it's not gone. Still get some 5-0s, right? I guess a couple 5-0s. I think there was a build like top 16 to open or something. But yeah, it certainly got worse. Nobody's gonna deny that it didn't get much worse. Alright, sweet. So we drew our thing, and we can finally play our search while still holding up our cast out. Or sorry, I said cast out, but I meant sensor. The new Phoenix is good. So good. I would not mind to own 4 of that Phoenix in paper and 4 Scarab Gods in paper. I currently own 1 of each. Alright, so if he's playing around sensor, I guess we'll just go ahead and cycle the sensor then. He showed us. It's kind of an interesting addition to his deck. Do we want to put a disallow in our graveyard? Nah. Go to our graveyard either way. Just disallow whatever he plays this turn. But it's going to go to our graveyard either way. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Jund Monsters lid. Having a colorless land in the deck's pretty interesting to me. Could just be red-green, but like it's still pretty interesting to me. Oh, I guess he's just like dinos then? That comes into play tapped, right? Yeah, he can have it, sure. So even if he had... Oh, so he's not that at all. He's playing like some kind of Dino thing. Oh, this is sweet. Yeah, so... Fumigate? Probably don't need a Fumigate this game. I do think I'm going to play the Field of Ruin here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It puts the 6 card in our graveyard to guarantee us an Asclanta flip if we want, while we still have Disallow. Yeah, I'm not sure either. Like, I like both of those cards a lot. Carnage Tyrant cannot be counterspelled. Well, that's a thing. Alright, looks like he came prepared to crush us. It's actually very hard for us to win now. Yeah, it's very hard for us to win now. How do we win now? So 12, every 3 is 2 more. So 14, 15, 16, 17. I have to draw like Settle? So I have to draw like Settle. What if he just has like Gisha and destroys us? We'll go ahead and put that in the graveyard because I want to flip to search for Ascanta. Settles the card we're kind of looking for anyway. I'm just going to go ahead and play this. We survived this turn. Oh, no, I tapped my mana wrong. I tapped my mana wrong. I can't cycle to cast out. Rip. Rip. It just went too fast. That's so bad. So very bad of me. I am terrible, my friends. I am a trash can, my friends. Exclamation mark, punt. You can give me like 35 punts for that, because that was really bad of me. Oh, God, I'm so bad. Wait, why would he do that? I don't want anything in my graveyard. I've already flipped Ascanta. Oh gosh, I'm so bad. So bad. So bad. So bad. So bad. So bad. Wah wah. Wah 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 wah. This is definitely bad. I didn't even give myself the option. So, like, Lightning Strike just kills us now? His deck seems like a deck that would have Lightning Strike in it, so that's kind of scary. I should have probably searched for Ascanta before I played the cast out as well. This was another mistake, I think. I feel like this was another mistake. Ended up not mattering, but it could have mattered, right? Alright. Well, not punished. Not being punished is fun. Not being punished is fun. I like it when we're not punished. So he built a Dino deck designed to beat control decks? Because he's got Carnage Tyrant main, Arch main, and Death Gorger main, which are all like medium cards in a lot of matches, but they're good versus the blue-white decks? Huh. Yeah, anyway, versus Dino stuff, we definitely want this dude. I would normally bring in these Ixalan's bindings, but the fact that he showed us cast outs kind of makes me not want bindings. Huh. Don't think Nazal does anything. I don't think I want the extra search. I don't think I want any negates. I don't know if I want authority. Do I want Regal Caracal? It is 7 power to throw in front of like a Carnage Tyrant. That doesn't seem good. Don't think I actually want Regal Caracal. It's kind of what I'm like stressing on at the moment. Caracal. I don't think so. I don't think I want him. I think I'm just going to bring in the Essence Scatter and remove an Opt. I still like the Meltdowns because Meltdowns can target all of the early things he has, like Death Gorge Scavenger, and like if he has any of those mana producers that can turn into 3 power and stuff like that. I think it's kind of a low opportunity cost to have them. I don't think I want bindings mainly because of the cast, or because we saw cast outs from them. If this wasn't Flash, I'd take it out for sure. Kind of want Caracal. I might bring Caracal in on the play. I think it's easy for him to get a 2-drop that I care about on the table. Hey, Gun. What it is, man. This hand's pretty good. It's basically everything you want, you know, besides 7 lands and 2 approaches. But we can't have 13 cards in our main deck, or in our opening hand. Not without getting disqualified from most tournaments. Too many disallows? Phew. Too many disallows. By the way, we have all sorts of pretties. All sorts of pretties. Go ahead and set you over there, and you over there, and you over there. So he's got a Ripjaw Raptor. Go ahead and play that one. This hand is the dream. It is a good hand versus dinos. He's got multiple. He's a 3-mana deck with multiple of those colorless land thingamabobs. I'm such a precise streamer. Those colorless land thingamabobs. Kind of want to cycle this. I think I'm going to cycle this. Not super concerned about anything. The things you can do. Seems to make my hand better. I appreciate it, JJ. Much love, man. You gotta keep looking out for us. He's definitely got a Ripjaw Raptor in his hand. Probably going to fumigate the crap out of that. May not, though. May let him add a little more to the board. I don't really want to take 6 damage, though. We're definitely going to put one of those on top of our library. I think we're going to put the other one on the bottom of our library since we don't even have the approach yet. JK, we're going to draw it anyway. I'm going to go ahead and do this now. He doesn't have mana for Heroic Intervention. And we have plenty more where that came from. Oh, that's a Nissa. Nissas are good cards. Take 5, Brother Ray. Alright. 5 has been taken. I want to kill his land because it's fun. Probably shouldn't kill his land. I really want to kill this land just because it's fun. Double red? And glory bringers. Oh my. Lions, tigers, and bears. Our opponent's got it all. I'm going to play a little of this, a little of that, a little of this, and some more of that. Still has a Ripjaw Raptor in his hand that we know about. If I knew we were going to draw a land, I would keep that. I do not know we're going to draw a land. I'm going to keep it anyway. We're drawing 2 cards. Maybe it's useful later even if we don't. JK, we knew we had it. That wasn't no thing. We knew we were getting there. Enjoy your land, pal. So we can just counterspell the next non-Carnage Tyrant threat, and we have a Fumigate for the Carnage Tyrant. You can get out of here too, bud. He's got 3 cards in his hand, and he's not playing one of them? Huh. Just going to play the Search for Azcanta and pass here. Actually, I'm not. I'm going to go ahead and cycle the Censor too, in case we hit a tap land. I'm not casting the Glimmer for a land because, like, if he has a Glory Bringer, we still can Ever Meltdown it. What are you? El Carnage Tyrantio. Guess we can get rid of this card now. Alright. Well, we definitely want an approach. I don't think we want the Glimmer. I think we just kind of want an approach in a land. Settle the wreckage in the graveyard? No, thank you. Yes, we will flip that. I don't want to take this amount of damage, so I'm just going to set behind our counter spells and our Settle the Wreckage here. I'll cast Approach on a turn that we still have Essence Scatter up, probably. So this gives him land 9. If he's got a land in his hand, he goes up to 10 to activate these. What is this one? 4 mana. I guess we'll counterspell it. Counterspelling all threats seem fine right now. Untap land and we cast the Approach. Gunner dropping bombs. Does feel like it's going to be a relevant work. So we're 6 cards down after our draw step. So I'm just going to go ahead and write a 6 there so we don't forget. Boom, 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 boom. So how's everybody today? Is everybody having a great time? Ooh, Carnage Tyrantio. Can't stop you, bud. He's got a Heroic Intervention. That could, you know, be a magic card, I guess. He does not have a Heroic Intervention. We played every Wrath in the world on him. 1, 2, 3, 4. Played 4 so far? You can't go to bed. I But we have this in our hand. How rude, opponent. I'm willing to take this first 4 damage here. We're just going to use the Ascanta. If we get any Cycler, we win. Getting paid crazy good to watch me? Well, I'm jealous. One of these days, I'm going to have to go get a job. And that's not going to be a fun day. Especially with my sweet, sweet education level. Any order? What do you know? So we'll go ahead and draw our approach here. Top of the library. And pew. All of those for that. And that. And 2-0. So we got to win 1 out of the next 3 to acquire that pity chest. I really think all of these cycling cards are just better than all of the green cards. But, you know, it's kind of a dream matchup. Not to say anything negative about our opponent's deck, because like I'm not calling it out because it's a brew. I'm saying it's just like a random green mid-range deck, and random green mid-range decks, whether they be snakes or whether they be Jund monsters or whether they be dinos, it's just what we want to play versus every time. Like, can we lose to them? Sure. Hey, it's Misplaced Dinger. Misplaced Dinger means we're probably playing versus a poopy mid-range green deck. I think this is the first time I've ever played versus Ginger, and our hand is trash. Let's keep it. How dare this guy come into our neighborhood and beat us for our pity chest? How dare he not be streaming? Is he streaming? I don't think he streams anymore. Because he's a coward. Told you. Poopy mid-range green deck. It sounds really bad though, so. We both put, or he put on bottom. Wow, he's only got 1 land. Our hand's better than his. Let's go ahead and get this Essence Scatter ready. Wait, I don't want to counterspell that. Fine, you can have that. I defend myself from you. We also do not have a land. Alright, I feel like this game is going to come down to who hits their 3rd land first. Or in my case, I have to hit a white land. Oh no, don't draw your net. Don't draw your land. Alright, we probably dead AF now. You can do it, deck. Untap land. Plains. Plains us. Alright. Opponent misses land drop 2, still lose. I'm pretty sure our hand was a keep. Pretty sure we can still win if we just hit plains. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, J-Light is good. Look at this. Watch him. Watch him get those lands. So he gets a land immediately. He keeps the Walking Ballista 2. Oh yeah. Comes into play tapped. It don't do us any good, boys. Yeah. I'm actually pretty excited to hit that land. Alright. Untap plains. You can do it. You can do it. Untapped plains go. Alright, well, he's only got 2 cards in his hand, and our hand is beyond great if we just draw the land. Whew. 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 Looking good. Looking good. We're ready to rock out. You gonna send the dudes? Just sending one. Oh, we're just taking one. I don't give no F's about no one. There's a glimmer of genius for in our future. If you counterspell the first approach, the second approach still wins the game, but the second approach has to resolve. The second approach does have to resolve. The first approach does not have to resolve. Alright. Land ho! Wait, what's this? Oh, he's just gonna put like a random counter on the dude? Sure. Random counter, fine. You're not a land. You, my friend, are also not a land. You're kind of a land. And you're definitely a land. Alright, so we're going to take 3 damage here and gain 1 life, so we'll end up at 10. We're at a very low life total, but, you know, it's better than being dead, friends. I think 2 of the cards in his hand are relatively bad as well, and we still have a Settle the Wreckage. I'm not too reliant on this cast out because I'm afraid of Blossoming Defense. Oh, well, so like both of his cards were bad. Well, hot diggity dog. Excuse me. You guys didn't want to hear me snot into the mic, I'm sure. I did not mean to. I just forgot to hit the mute button. This might be my first ever pairing versus the Ginger. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We definitely want to land. I think we can dump the Settle. She's just going to keep both cast outs here. We're just going to slam this. We have a Wrath anyway. And the reason we're keeping both cast outs is to get us closer to drawing the approach again. Hey Jay, what is up? You get your motor running? Whew, that's exactly what I want to hear. Sometimes you got to get it to get to got it. I don't know what I'm saying. Ignore me. I'm white trash. In my neck of the hoods, they call me Steersist. But I am white trash. I am so white that I am much trash. I guess we can just win next turn. That seems better than not winning next turn. So, you can have all your little things. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about your little cute Veraska and your little, like, Efferspear Harvester and stuffs. Oh, your birthday was yesterday. Congratulations. Was it fun turning 50? Wait, what? Why do I have to shut up? I'm having fun at my own expense. Isn't that what we're supposed to do when we're being comedic? I could have fun at Gunner's expense. Why am I called Searsus? It's just a random name from a video game that I love. Ogre Tactics. And by love, I mean I've never played it ever. I have no idea why that's my name. Meow, meow. Hey, this card is going to be our approach. Alright, so he's done. Ginger can count. Still a bit hungover. Did you get over your flu then? To enjoy your birthday? So that's good at least. Alright, so black-green like Veraskas and things. That's kind of an interesting match. I think the Essence Scatter is particularly good in this match. I think the Regal Caracats are particularly terrible in this match, so let's bring those in as well. Because like they're just trash. It's good that you're over the flu. The bindings I can take or leave. Like they're good versus the reset Veraskas, but like he's got blossoming defenses. And he's got, you know, he's probably going to sideboard in some, like, naturalized type effects. And he's got the Veraskas themselves that can, like, kill things. So, typically, I don't like to bring into bindings. Bought myself some insane birthday presents. What did you get? On the draw, I'm going to take out some of these sensors and a couple, at least one opt. I don't know what I'm going to take out for the other card. I think I'm just going to take out the extra sensor. Cast outs have the same negative side as Ixalan's bindings, but where I can use them as an instant speed and or cycle them, it gives them a little bit more play. But this is a pretty tough match post board, especially if he has the Lost Legacy. Hey, France57, thank you for the follow. Oh god, this hand's about as bad as you can get versus their deck, but because they have so many discard spells, I don't think we can actually mulligan. Oh, nice. I'm assuming that's a car. And by car, I mean big truck. I'm going to Google that. Oh, wow, it's a pretty truck, too. That's sharp, man. I would totally drive that. Looks like I could probably fit in that thing, man. Man, I'm a real redneck. We drive like little S10s here. We drive like mid-model S10s here. That's a sneakity-snakety. Not real excited to see a sneakity-snakety come into play. I don't care about that thing either. Cycle this thing too. Apparently we're gonna get every cast out that was ever cast out. Oh yeah! Counterspell in the hills! We still have this cast out too. I promise we're going to do lots of things with it. Like in my driveway right now, we got a 1998 GMC Jimmy and I think a 1995 S10. That's real rednecking for you, man. Is it bad that I almost want to keep my cast out? I'm not going to keep it. I almost want to keep it. Also messed up. I didn't really mess up, I guess. Don't know what I'm going to do with that disallow. Wrangler. I miss my Wrangler, man. No, I had a Scrambler. I didn't have a Wrangler. I missed the Scrambler is what I miss. Yeah, you can have that. Because we're going to draw a Fumigate, and it's going to be grand. Oh no, that truck is definitely a superior truck. That's the type of truck that the big city farmers would have. That's the kind of truck the farmers around here would have. You people, you biggins. One of these cards is a lot better than the other one. Yeah, so things are going kind of bad right now. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Huh. Well then. That's a lot of damage. Huh. I choose you. We no longer have time to cast you. We basically have between 1 and 0 more chances to draw a Fumigate. Sweet! We definitely have at least one more. So you got a Swamp this time. He didn't have a Duress last time though, so I assume he doesn't have an Address this time. I got Big Money Fumigate one time. We have 5 cards to find it. and potential redraws. I think if we find it, we probably win the game. If we don't find it, we probably don't. Well, we certainly don't need you. We certainly don't need you. Oh, that's not bad. That potentially buys us a turn depending on his hand. Depending on what he draws and what's in his hand, this could potentially buy us a turn. And a turn lets us play an approach, which should buy us another turn. So, depending upon his hand, this little Caracol should be enough to win us the game. No, it's no longer enough to win us the game. We're not dead on board, but we're in real bad shape now. Mind blown on that one. Why did he play that one? Could have put 2 counters on the Ballista. And maybe did something? I'm not sure. Lost Legacy. Alright, so we lose. He's actually playing Lost Legacy, folks. Who would have ever guessed that? Because that card's not that popular right now. But yep, we're not going to beat that. Don't think we really even have an out now. I guess we can draw exactly Fumigate next turn. Gain a whole big bundle of life. And he be stuck on not having green mana for a little while. We do get to draw 2 extra cards with the approaches. But it's clearly not good for us now. Like, a lot of things just went very poorly for us. It's another cat. I think it's right to play the other cat and probably attack with all of our cats. A lot of things can go poorly here, but seems like it's the best overall strategy. In the main of every black deck, wow. I think this is the best overall strategy, even though there's only 1 cat left in our entire deck. I don't care about the Deadeye Tracker nearly as much as I do the Winding Constrictor. Let's go ahead and play this thing. We're just trying to get enough life to continue to play the game. Like, there's some world where we can, like, Millville Mountain stuff. This game, we're probably not going to win this particular game, but just seeing more of his deck and stuff like that gives us more information for sideboarding on following games. So this is Vraska. We don't really have anything for Vraska, so that's bad. Man, I've not saw one pop it in the board in a while. I don't think any of the lists on Goldfish that have 5-0'd have had it. Except for mine. Let's look. None in that one. I'm not seeing any. Oh, that guy's got 2. Anyway. I guess we don't want to do that. I don't really want to do any of that, do I? Just gonna play this. Let's just see more of his deck. Might have to go for the Rivulet kill, but it's going to be very hard. Considering we're already 10 cards deeper in our deck than him, and we have to find more cards to even beat the board. Yeah, that's why I steal decks. That's definitely the main reason I steal decks. I don't think Lost Legacy is that bad. I just was saying I don't think it's real common. It's certainly pretty good versus us. I am certainly not smarter than them. I don't think Deadeye Tracker is even playable. So it's another thing that I disagree with. Why are you popping up and aggravating us? But right now we're just trying to see more of his deck, more than anything. He's keeping another Walking Ballista. What's this? What do I care about that for? Don't want you. Don't want you. Kinda want both of you. Kinda want both of you. This seems terrible. I'm just kinda hoping he'll like get rid of his Walking Ballista here. I tried it versus GFG, it didn't do much work for me. Like, they just killed it. Every time they just killed it. It never really did much for me. Like, it was good versus the blue-white GFG, but like every time I played it versus the black GFG, it's just like, hi, here's a Fatal Push. Because like they don't sideboard out their Fatal Pushes versus decks like this, right? And if you draw it late game, you know, like say you don't have, you're playing it as a 2-of, right? So like the odds of having it in your opening hand are fairly low. So like say you play it on turn 5 or whatever, it's got Summoning Sickness. You can't even activate it till the next turn. Like that's always been like a relevance versus me. But like I said, I don't actually think we can win this game anymore. We're actually just playing right now to look at his hand. I really wish this would stop popping up. Just trying to look at more of his hand at this point. I'm actually going to go ahead and counterspell this too. Actually I'm not. He can have that. Don't care. I'd rather hold up Settle to Wreckage. I assume he just attacks with the Pirate and maybe the Walking Ballista. But I assume he protects his Glint. We're 13 cards deeper in our deck than his, and we can only mill him for 16 total. Or sorry, 12, 16 total, yeah. We do have the 4th Rivulet in this build. So like, I won't say the game's over, but the game's certainly not in a good spot, right? We're definitely going to play that out, so we're not just going to scoop. By the way, thanks for stopping by, Zane. At some point, we're going to draw a Fumigate. And then, like, he's got to rebuild a board. We may settle this turn. One thing we have to worry about is he has Lost Legacy, so at some point he's going to be able to mill more cards out of our library. But the plan really is to rivulet him out. It's like the only plan we have. I'll probably bring in the Elder Dinos for the post board. If we ever hit Fumigate, we can try to play that thing. We're 33 cards deep, though, and we've not drawn one. We scratched some cards to the bottom, too. I was too lazy to count, so we're probably like 36 cards deep. It's a quick clock. So we kind of need it this turn. He's just not going to play anything else right now. Alright, unfortunately I think we have to play this now. Doesn't do a whole lot here. It might let us chump block this for one turn, but it doesn't do a whole lot. And that's might. It probably won't even do that. So we have between 1 and 0 more chances to draw a Fumigate. Yeah. Like I said, it probably won't even do that. Could disallow the last trigger and make him actually blow that out, I guess. He's got another one. Like, it doesn't really get me anywhere, but it does make him get rid of his walking ballista. We know he has another ballista in his hand, though. We've already saw it. We're just trying to block this, though. Basically, we're just looking for more turns. Yeah. I guess he's going to call our disallows. Because he knows we have them. He's going to call Fumigate. So now he knows all he has to do is beat the rivulets. He's also further down on the clock than us, so like making him play this out is not a non-negative thing. Wonder if it's ever worth it to use the Field of Runes on his Deadlands at this point. I think I'm willing to counterspell that too. Problem with getting his intervention is like they're going to be sideboarding in some number of enchantment removal versus you, and like what if the Lost Legacy just gets cast before you can play your 4-mana spell? Or like mid-game they Veraska it and or naturalize it. That's a Gonti. Gunties seem like real things. Hopefully he attacks with both at least. He's down to one card in hand. We've already used all 4 of our disallows. Use dang near all 4 of our everythings. So we have 20, he has 31, we can still use this. But to make sure that number doesn't get higher than 16 at this point. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and use this too. I don't want him to kill our thing. I did not search for a land because that's an extra card I get to draw with Search for Azcanta. He's got 1 card left in his hand. It could be anything, even a boat. But we are hell-bent with a Search for Azcanta. Jade Light Ranger. How many settled wreckages do we have? We have 1 settled wreckage left. Meltdown to our graveyard. I'm actually going to say no. And I am going to flip that. I'll go ahead and grab that guy. Solid boat this season, but yeah, they are kind of going at this moment. So we're just gaining 1 life a turn with this cat. It doesn't really do much more than that. We are 9 cards behind him at this point. Oh, is this a giant walking ballista? That one hurts. That was a good draw. This is a giant walking ballista. Yeah, that one ends the game pretty quickly. I think we've used all of our cast outs as well, haven't we? Yeah, we've used all 4 of our cast outs. Oh god, I'm an idiot. Why didn't I go get that Essence Scatter? I'm an idiot. I definitely just punted this game, I think. Had a chance to win. Probably wasn't going to win, but like, I have no chance to win now. Oh god, I have no chance to win now. He just doesn't even have to attack. That was so bad of me. Oh, my hand. Oh my god. You guys can throw the punt symbol up if you want. Because that was really bad of me. He just doesn't have to attack. I don't think he should attack here. One time to find our last settle. Alright, so we're just dead. And I shouldn't have tapped my rivulets either, because now I don't even get to see his cards, and we're just dead on board. Oh god, that was a punt. We could have won this game, guys. This game was winnable. Alright, I guess he's going to let us, use the rivulet and see 8 more cards. Well, maybe not. Let's see 4 more cards. Oh, I can't believe we played for this punt or this game the entire time and I just punted that. Can't believe that. I am on life tilt. Definitely on life tilt at this point. Frustrating. But on a positive note, I don't see any blossoming defenses. Do you guys? Frustrating that I'm that bad of a Magic player. It would have been hard to win this game anyway. But that was still a really bad punt. Alright, so we've saw that he brings in at least 2 Lost Legacies, so let's think about this card some. I'm probably just going to go ahead and bring it in and take out the 2 ops. Kind of want the sensors back in on the draw, though. Or sorry, back in on the play. What's worse than Sensor? Guess we don't need to be all in on the cats. Just cut out one of each of those. Lost Legacy with decks that have clocks is very, very hard to beat. Probably could have brought Dixlon's Bindings in, but I don't know. Alright, we'll certainly keep this hand. This hand's great. This hand's absolutely everything that we want. We're not going to cycle this cast out. I hope he doesn't have a duress. No duress. Probably censor whatever he plays. Alright, probably will cycle one of the cast outs now since we need to hit a land anyway. Don't care too much if he resolves like a Lost Legacy here. We hit a land, which is great. See how good of a threat he plays as a side, whether we Essence Scatter it or cast out it or whatnot. Well, answers that question. Rip! Missed our land drop. That's generally the beginning of the end. Could have cycled a cast out at the end of his turn, and maybe I was supposed to. Alright, well, we're definitely just going to go ahead and play the Glimmer of End. Pretty much only leaving lands on top of the library with it. I'm just going to put them both on the bottom. Just looking for lands. He's down to 3 cards, though, and we're going to have some pretty good juju no matter what he takes. So he took a Settle. A Gonti. It's kind of bad for us, because he can definitely get a lot of great things with that Gonti. He's only got 2 cards in hand, assuming that like the card he got from us isn't heartbreaking. This is not a heartbreaking kid. Walking Ballista, sure. Go ahead and save the time and slam this. Go ahead and pick this guy. It's a good chance that I just slammed the Regal Caracol next turn. He's only got 1 card in hand. Nothing that he can get from us scares me that badly. And then we can like melt down this on the following turn and start attacking. Hopefully we hit a land. Alright, we hit a land. So this is only really bad if he has Vraska, and if he has Vraska, we can still cast out the Vraska. So it's like not the end of the world, though obviously it's very good for him. Well, that's pretty good here too. Now he can kill the big cat. Kinda just want to attack. Kinda feel like he's just going to kill this thing, though. This is kind of bad, I believe, because if he's got a Vraska's Contempt, we're still just, like, really hurting. He's probably going to kill Big Cat. Targeting Big Cat, sure. Alright, so we'll just go ahead and melt down that guy and go on about our day. We get to gain 2 life if nothing else. We can still just draw approach, and win. Obviously, like, Vraska is very hard to kill here, or beat here. Unless we draw, like, Nazal. That card's pretty good to beat here, too, but we do have 3 Fumigates in the deck and 2 Settles. Yeah, we'll just play this, which gives us a chance to just untap and win. Assuming he doesn't have Lost Legacy, of course. Shade Light Ranger, which means I can't really block. I gotta save these for that. Another Gonti's pretty good. Oh, we'll just take our 8. I feel like I played this exact same game with Dinger before, but I don't think I've ever played with Dinger, so... So we have to survive 2 turns here, somehow. Go ahead and block this and gain a life. I have a disallow. Plays Gonti, that gets us closer to winning. He might be afraid to play Gonti because if we draw Glimmer, the game's just over. We definitely have 1 out to win no matter what. So that's a Duress. He really slow rolled a Duress there? It's kind of a tilt. Why would you even think about a Duress in that spot? Yeah, it looks like we've got 1 turn to draw exactly Fumigate. We're over like 20 cards in our deck though, so. He might be saving it just to make sure that we don't draw our approach. But if he plays it, he could potentially be lethal next turn. So that's 4 more cards. So we now know it's 2 cards down. And Field of Ruin kills us. GG. Feel like that was pretty unlucky for us. Feel really far ahead that game. Whee! I want to be salty about that Duress. I wouldn't have thought Ginger to be a slow roller. Alright, anyway, we still got to win 1 out of the next 2 to acquire our PD chest. Bum 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 bum. Join match. We'll certainly keep. Hey, Lucas, what's up, man? Hand was a very, very good hand. So we're versus that thing? Is that deck even good? Never played versus this deck, and we're kind of like light on lands, but we have a Fumigate and a Settle, and generally time to get there. And that's if he's playing Blue White Ores. If he's playing Vampers, this hand's roughly the same. Yeah, we'll just throw a Meltdown on this dude. Taking no damage is fun. I have to imagine game 1's very good for us. Game 2 and 3, it depends on how they've altered their sideboard. You would typically think Censor's extremely good versus the 20 land deck, but in my experience, they always draw 3 to 5 lands. Sure. Uh, since Rivals come out, 0. I think I've only played it in 2 though. Prior to Rivals, quite a few. Don't really count. So no idea actually, but quite a few. Oh, take our 3 damage. But since Rivals, I think I've only played it 2 or 3 times. We've not 5-0'd yet. I think this is the 4th time. I think I have a 2-3, a 3-2, and a 4-1, but I won't swear to that. I won't swear to that at all. Alright, if he's going to attack with them all, I'm definitely going to settle. I was thinking about not settling if he just attacks for 5 and wait until he gets a blue enchantment, but he's got Spell Pierce in his main deck. That's a new change. I don't actually think that's a positive change for that deck either. That deck has way too many moving parts for me to think I like that. And I think Negate's better than Spell Pierce. Like, I actually think Spell Pierce is a bad magic card in Standard. Yeah, well, we have lands. Man, not having searches, that you're braver than me to play this deck without searches. You are braver than me, friend. I think it's the best card in the deck by a good amount. So they basically had to cut creatures to make room for the Spell Pierces, or unless it's just a one of over the Cartouche or something. Or sorry, over the Trowel or something, but you know, I just see it's just not, they don't have that many creatures. They like played 4 or 5 when we played a Wrath. I'm gonna go ahead and counterspell this too, because they have things that make them get protected from Fumigate. The third disallow? Sure. I'm not totally sure if the dinos are great yet. Like, there's still something I'm just testing. Like, I'm pretty confident I like the one of, but I don't know if I like them all. Oh, can we just draw an approach and get this over with? That's not an approach. It's kind of an approach. Because it always finds approach. Yeah, I call it kind of approach. When it's not even close to an approach, but I'm just confident. Alright, so 19 life now. Oh, wait, he's got another Spell Pierce? Sure. So he's got multiple Spell Pierces in his main deck, and that's a very good possibility of that's why he doesn't have many creatures in play right now. Anyway, we have 7 mana to pay for the next one. We still have 2 rafts. So unless he's got double. Or maybe he's got Negates main as well. Just kind of like paint by numbers versus decks like this. They can get aggressive draws and actually put pressure on us. Just not super likely to. Alright, so moving into the sideboarded games, I believe... You get out of my way. You're 7 mana. You get on out of here. I think we want these. I actually think we want this as well. I think sensors are pretty bad here on the draw. I may bring them back in on the play. I actually think Ixalan's bindings are okay here too, because they only have a few pieces of their decks that make things work. And if you can hit any of those pieces, you feel like a millionaire. We'll get rid of those as well and bring in, bring in at least one of these. Pretty sure I'm just going to run this. Feel like we're a pretty favored match. I could remove an opt for another negate maybe, but I think I just want one negate. God, this hand's real bad, but I think it's strong enough to keep versus them. The fact that they showed a Spell Pierce main deck and likely have more negates in the side would be the reason that I don't really want to keep this hand, but we have like basically our best card versus them, so it's like kind of hard not to keep it. Like, they don't always have to have the counter, or they don't have to leave up mana, and this, that, and the other. But yeah, we clearly got a very bad draw here. And he's going to start drawing a million cards, so it's going to be difficult to win now. So he like gets 2 cards off this. Fortunately, we don't have a Meltdown. Could have been saving Spell Pierce for Meltdown as well. We'll draw more of our really expensive cards. Luckily, he's not played in Adonto yet, so like settle on his turn, fumigate on our turn, still going to be a good play, but you know, he's still at 8 cards, so it's not a great play. This is what we are stuck trying, though. And he has an Adonto now. That's disappointing. The Adonto actually causes us significant problems. So now we just kind of have to hope he doesn't have the counterspell, because if he does, we likely don't win this game. I won't say that there's no chance, but like the odds of us winning go down drastically if he has a counterspell. And we have 0% chance to win if he has to. Don't think he would make an all-out attack if he didn't have at least one. So we go down to 4 here. He's got a second, the game's over. Is the game over? Opponent got to play 7 spells there too. That generally wins most games. When we bring the sensors back in on the play, we go ahead and dump a negate on the play and the ops for the sensors, because ops and sensors perform a similar role in the deck. Very similar row. Yep, we'll keep this hand. It's pretty good. We clearly have to hit more lands, but the fact that we have an Effort Meltdown for the first threat and potentially a sensor for like an Odonto or something, I think it's a keep. I think it's a pretty clear keep too. Now we're going to struggle if we just don't hit lands, but can't have everything. When your hand's this strong, you got to make some sacrifices. An Adorned Pouncer. Think we'll let that resolve and just throw the Meltdown on it. Could have used the sensor because there's no guarantee that the sensor gets any better, but putting that other card in his graveyard is not necessarily great to begin with. I definitely don't want to put that in his graveyard. I prefer playing Approach, but I think Cycling is the better deck. But I do prefer to play Approach. I feel like there's more room for me to make play mistakes when I play the Cycling deck. Like, I feel like I'm going to make play mistakes pretty often when I play that deck. And I just don't feel like I'm going to make play mistakes when I play this deck. Or not that many play mistakes when I play this deck. It's kind of odd. Alright, so you get to draw a card. This is very bad for us at the moment. Why would you not put the Cartouche on the Odonto? I just want to keep both of those. I think I'm just going to go ahead and play the Binding and hope that it resolves on the Odonto. There's a good chance he has a counterspell here, but like, he didn't attack with the Odonto last turn, so it kind of makes me think he doesn't have a counterspell. Like, the Cycling deck is very hard to play optimally. Like, I win games with it, my win percentage is pretty good with it, but like, it is really hard to play actually optimally. And I don't play it anywhere near optimally. I think that's the big difference with that too. I wish I played it somewhere to the degree that I think its skill is, but yeah, I just do not play that deck very well. Alright, so I think I'm going to be greedy and just go ahead and slam the Fumigate. He didn't have the counterspell last turn, so there's a good chance he doesn't have it this turn. And if we just play for the settle, he gets to flip the Legion or the Legion's Landing. I really don't want him flipping the Legion's Landing. I think that's one of our more common ways to lose from this spot. I have double settle still. Actually, I'm just going to go ahead and cast that out. Don't want to risk him having like a negate and taking 8 damage. I think it takes a special man to play that deck. And or woman. Like, I don't think that's the type of deck people typically gravitate towards. I think that's one of the reasons its numbers aren't as high as some of the other decks. I think a lot of people just disrespect decks like that. Like, a lot of people think Approach is terrible too, but you can just see by the results I've had with Approach that it's clearly not terrible. Is it tier 1? Maybe not. Maybe I overrate it, but it is obviously not terrible. It's obviously not close to terrible. Think I'm just going to play the cat now? But like, this deck's considered one of the worst decks. It's considered it by a pretty fair margin too. No, I absolutely agree with you, man. I think the deck is exceedingly good. What's in his deck that makes him do that attack? I wonder. Because I don't feel like he's racing. I feel like he's just behind. Does he have set on his deck? And I can't really attack with my big cat if he has that. But anyway, we're potentially 7 turns away from winning. And we're attacking for up to 7 a turn as well. Is he still going to attack? This is the question. He's got first strike now, so he probably shouldn't. Alright, no, he's still racing. I don't think Negate's that good. Lost Legacy is good if it's a deck that provides a clock. But, like, not every deck provides a clock. And, like, you can, like, beat all the control decks that play Lost Legacy, right? Like, maybe he's going to flip the Legion's Landing right now. Not sure. Oh, we have another Settle to Wreckage. He does get to flip this now, though. He's gonna have to show me something to make me play the Approach, I think. Like, we kind of have him on a 2-turn clock. Just gonna, like, mill myself for 4. Alright, he's done. I feel like he had a fair draw. It just peters out really well if it can't draw the cards. Oh. We were gonna mill our cat. That's not fun. And then we were going to draw planes. Alright, well anyway, we've acquired a pity chest, and onward we go to the next round. Round 5, coming up. Yeah, but like you can beat Lost Legacy, right? Like, if they're not an aggressive deck, Lost Legacy doesn't do a whole lot. You can still beat all the non-Scarab decks with Regal Caracols. You can beat most of the Scarab decks with Nazal. You can mill all the blue-black control decks, all the Grixis mid-range decks, all the Grixis control decks. Like, don't get me wrong, Lost Legacy's great when it comes out of a deck like Abzan Tokens or Green-Black Snakes. You know, like some deck that's going to pressure you. But, you know, it's not very good. It's not a catch-all for every deck. Like, every deck that plays black doesn't automatically succeed because of that card, is what I'm trying to say. It's another very strong player. Like, just a few rounds ago, I don't know if you were here, but, like, there was a good chance that we were just going to mill out a Snake opponent that resolved 2 Lost Legacies versus us if I had not punted. I punted very, very bad, so, like, I didn't get to show it off, but you saw how the game plan was working, right? Oh, mono red. Sweet. Our worst match. Yeah, I think the Spell Pierce in the main was clearly good. I think our sensor's too good here to just go ahead and play the search. Like, there's a very high percentage chance that this is going to counterspell a spell right now that I care about. I think Negate is better, but again, I think they typically need to draw 2 negates, right? And if you draw a negate, I feel like they have to draw 3 negates. So, like, I feel like they're already putting themselves at a disadvantage. Probably going to hold up this disallow, but maybe I won't. Yeah, I think I will. I think I'm going to hold up the disallow too, and I'll probably hold up the cast out the turn after that. I don't value these search for Ascanthus particularly highly. I know Gunner just won a PPTQ, and he values them pretty highly. He kept them in this match, but and they've done a lot of work for him, but just they've not done that much for me. Wow, main deck, Pia. That's interesting. I think just playing my counter spells has done more for me here. Alright, now this is the interesting turn. We don't have to worry about getting attacked, but like a Chandra's still really good here. Think I'm gonna play it. I may even cycle the farmland, I'm not exactly sure. Earthshaker Kenra, sure. Opponent's doing a lot. I considered cast outing this because drawing 4 cards is going to be brutal. And then we're now put in a situation to where they can, like, guaranteed draw those 4 cards. Put a lot of thought into cast outing that. That's not good for us, is it? Definitely planes into the graveyard. We need something at this point in the game. I think there's too good of a chance I'm going to want to keep this cast out, so I'm just going to go ahead and play this land. Because I don't think we'll have the turn to cast or to use it. It's a shock. So that means he's expecting to use the Beaumont Courier, I think. Which means I'm going to cast out the Earthshaker, I believe. Hopefully we only take 1 damage here. I don't think we can afford to get to Beaumont and just take 2 damage a turn. Because, like, I think we're drawing the Fumigates and stuff at this point. So he killed his own dude. Sure. Puts a lot of pressure on us. Search for Ascanta is 100% in my graveyard. Glimmer. So if we get out of this turn alive, we'll be at a place where we can start casting approaches. He's got a lightning strike too. Oh, that was really good. Didn't want him to have a lightning strike too. It's kind of dangerous for him just to use the Beaumont now, because we have disallow mana up. If he knew we were on 4 disallows, I don't think he would ever do this Beaumont here. But most people don't play 4 disallows, so. So he's going to have a land, and he's got to make decisions now. If he just drew 7 points of burn, we will not win this game. We can beat a lot of other things. If he's got 6 points of burn, we will not beat him. Like I said, if he just drew 7 points of burn, we're not going to beat him. Can draw Effort Meltdown here. Actually, kind of want both of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess we don't want that. We will put that on top. Go ahead and save ourselves time so we can press F6 and do this. Since we're in the graveyard 100%, this is an approach, we'll probably win. If it's not an approach, we'll probably lose. I think I'm just gonna play the land here. Think we're gonna go look and see if we can find an essence scatter. Good chance that we're dead now. Feel like it's a very strong chance he has a lightning striker like double shock in his hand. Well, Rigging Runner doesn't do anything, so that's at least a net positive. He's not killing us, so that seems like good for us as well. Fumigate. It's an interesting card. Yeah, you could be right. I was worried about beating burn spells really badly. I think I'll keep it. He's not showing us a burn spell now, so like killing 3 things and going to 6 life. So he draws a 4th card, plays a land, so he's got 3, plays a Hazard, he's got 2, discards a Hazard. So we just die if he has a Hazard. He's 20 cards deep. The odds of him having a Hazard's really high. I still think we have to keep it. Be nice to draw a counterspell here. Did not draw a counterspell there. Alright. Don't think we have much of an option. Alright, so we still just died a Hazard. It's kind of weird though, because like now if we have Settle or Cast Out, maybe we don't die to Hazard. And he could have just played it the other. Oh, he just doesn't have Hazard. Okay. Sure. So I'm sitting here stressing over a card he didn't even have. Well, we don't have anything again. I guess we'll keep the Settle. Nothing else to just scare him? Alright, so there's approach. So we go up to 12, but we've not won yet because we go immediately back to 7 if he has Hazard. Alright, now we've won. He's not going to deal 12 damage to us now. Alright, so we managed to still game 1 versus a very hard match. Hey, random user. Thank you for the follow. Our opponent got very unlucky, though. Our opponent definitely got very unlucky. I mean... guess we'll just put that one on top. F6 value is basically what I'm going for at this point. Just put them both on bottom. We know we're drawing to approach. Save to cast out in case something insane happens that I'm not thinking about. Our opponent's a good enough player to know that approach is in our hand, though. No, I mean, this matchup is favored for our opponent, and he had a good start, and it felt like we were really far ahead, or sorry, really far behind, and then like his Beaumont was just terrible. He didn't really play a spell after his Beaumont. I mean, he drew like 4 cards of this Beaumont, and it just didn't do anything. He might have been able to make a different play to turn that he smashed us with the buyback Kenra. It's the only thing I really saw. That could have maybe been different, but like we don't know what was in his hand at that point, so I'm not saying he made a mistake. I'm just saying like it just didn't seem like he had a whole lot of options. Anyway, in this match, I typically like to bring in all of my anti-creature stuff. And the cards that I typically like to take out are slow blue cards. So like always some number of these cards are typically the cards that I sideboard out first. So you kind of become this like mono red deck, right? So you kind of have to decide based on what type of build you think they're playing, which of these cards you think are the best. Because you can't take them all out. Unfortunately. Unfortunately, you just can't take them all out. Typically speaking, though, I think search is the by far worst part of it, especially on the draws. Sometimes I want it on the play. I typically think ops are actually okay. I generally keep it like 2 of them in, give or take, and like take 1 out. Like just getting your mana drops early in the game is pretty important. The glimmers I don't think are typically good. Some of these games can come down to very grindy games where you want the glimmer, but for the most part they don't. So like glimmers and disallows are really the cards that I generally like try to stay away from. But you just don't have that many things to take out. Not a fan of the glimmer. Not a big fan of the disallow either on the draw. Basically, we need to draw this authority on turn 1. That is our best avenue to win. Hey, we technically did. I'm actually going to keep this on the draw. I think authority's that good that I'm willing to risk a 1-land hand. If I was on the play, I would not keep this hand, but on the draw, I think it's worth the risk. You have like 2 turns to draw your land. And then we have like an extra cycling card in our hand. And most of the bad cards that we can draw cycle as well. But it's pretty important that you get the authority down. Really would like to draw a land here. Oh, wow. Alright, well. If we don't draw a land, we 100% lose. 100% lose. That's fine. They had 3 1-drops. I mean, you're not going to beat that hand very often anyway. I don't think it was a suspect keep. I think authority's that solid. Just going to resubmit the same 75. Or same 60. I think authority's that solid. Like the amount of games you win with authority and the amount of games you win without authority are drastically different. We'll keep this hand, even though I'm tempted to mulligan it. I think where I have double censor that I'm willing to keep this hand. If I only had 1 censor, I probably don't keep this. Oh, he doesn't have a 1-drop. That's great. Makes our sensors even better. It's kind of an odd card, but whatever. Just keep doing our thing. Trying to get the Regal Caracol before too much of the game's over. Get you too, bud. Kinda wish I'd brought a Glimmer or 2 in over the disallows. Alright, so we can answer the next thing he plays with a cast out, then slam a cat and hope he doesn't have a lightning strike. Sure. I think I'm willing to take 2 damage exactly here. Yeah, I'm just going to take this 2 damage. I'm going to slam a cat. If he has a lightning strike for the big half of the cat, the second half of a cat can still block that thing. And like he could play a much better threat. Like, I consider that card much better, actually. Because it has first strike. It's kind of suspect because this thing can come back right on time of 40. 40 doesn't really do anything right now. We're in bad shape. When games play out like this, we typically don't win. We definitely snap block, though. He's still 2 lands away from getting it, so the block's pretty easy there. And we're going to hold the cat back to try to block again. But the games that play out like this typically aren't very good. But like I said, some of the games do come out to these like slow grinders. Second authority. Just not where we want to be. Love to draw another cat. Feels like we're going to have to cast this binding whether we want to or not. Yep, feels like we're going to have to cast this binding. Yeah, took out the glimmers, because most of the matches don't play out like this. At some point he's going to sack this. So right now we have to find a land and 7 turns, and that's not easy. Yep, it's not easy at all. So anything he gets can't block at least. So he pretty much has to draw another lightning strike or minus Chandra here. Alright, well that was great for us. Unfortunately, he can protect the Chandra. This isn't where we want to be. Like I said a while ago, these aren't the games that we typically win. We can always just draw another approach in our next probably 3 turns and still get there, though. So at least that's a reasonable thing. So we probably have about 3 turns. He's got 5 mana to bring back another Kenra. We go to 16, we go to 12. We go to 20. Alright, so if we draw an untap land next turn, we probably win, though it's not guaranteed. We draw a few... no, we just don't win now. That was too good. And the other authority just does nothing here. We're dead on board to that attack. I guess we have to cycle this. Well, hold up settle mana. And if he doesn't kill us, he loses, but I mean, he kills us. We have no out. That's so tilting. Alright, well, we have to end up with our pity chest. We lost our best match, but like I said, if you don't draw to 40, you just die. Pretty sure that was a kind of bad play by our opponent. He put himself in a spot to where if we have Settled to Wreckage, the game's just over. Whereas he could have played around Settled to Wreckage. Yeah, well, we're just dead. Happens. Oh, we got our pity chest. Let's go ahead and open it real quick. Maybe we shouldn't drop the binding the turn we did, but like, what's the odds that he's going to junk? What's the odds that he's going to draw Chandra the very next turn? Yep, Mono Red's still our worst match, and it's still our worst match by a lot. Drawing 3 of 40s and getting none of them in the early game is never where you want to be. As for the list, we added this second Field of Runes, and it didn't seem like it affected us any of this game, or these 5 rounds, mana-wise, so like, I'll probably try it again. I'm pretty happy with the list in general. I don't think there's anything else I want to change for my next event. So who can we host? Samball's still playing. Well, he's way up in the day. Anyway, he's playing Black-White Vampires. And we're going to hop off here. Thank you guys so much for the follows and stuff. Thank you for hanging out with us. And take care. We'll be back sometime tomorrow. Not exactly sure what deck we'll play tomorrow, but we'll figure something out. Take care, everybody.